Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alan Iden, and the second session of Winchester's Fall 2024 Town Meeting has just adjourned here on November 14th. So let's recap what was done in almost 4 hours this evening. Article 10 was the first one up, which was to hear a report from the Capital Planning Committee. No action to be done except to accept the report. The comment from the chair said there was a $1 million grant had been received by the town for the to continue repairs of the South Reservoir Dam. Revenue is greater than expected, and investment income increases all help towards the capital goals. He said the committee got $15 million in requests, and there are still some unmet needs. After that report was accepted, moved on to the capital requests, $2.9 million worth of requests. Just go down them. There were 13 individual items. So go down briefly. Repairs to the town hall, not actually repairs, immediate repairs to the town hall HVAC system. But we heard that the full repairs to the system will cost somewhere around $6.5 million. This is a Band-Aid, we heard. Department of Public Works energy generator, new emergency generator for $250,000. Culvert repairs on Shore Road for $690,000. A new dump truck and salter for the DPW for $295,000. School district access controls for $270,000. Improvements in new security cameras at McCall and the high school for $140,000. Supplemental funds to complete the work on the Ginfield lights for $150,000. A trash truck chassis and cab for the DPW for $90,000. A screener for the transfer station for $100,000, replacing one that is rented annually. Vincent Owen Playground surface, supplemental funds of $80,000 to complete the work at the Vincent Owen School. Engineering for some fairly expensive repairs at the Packer Ellis Tennis Courts, $200,000. We did hear from the Finance Committee not being in favor of that because the source of the funding had not been identified. But the response to that was that the $200,000 was needed to find out how much funding was going to be needed, and then they would seek the sources. Same thing on the pedestrian warning lights, $40,000 for those. Again, Finance Committee was not in favor. And finally, a trailer generator for the Water Sewer Department for $125,000, replacing a 30-year-old unit. All of those were passed. We did hear from one Finance Committee member who was opposed to each one of them, said because there was no 5-year plan. The moderator did silence him as being out of order. After the recess, we got brought back to Article 13, $4.975 million needed for repairs to the Town Hall clock tower, library windows, and the slate roof at the library. $2 million of that coming from free cash, and the town borrowing $2.975 million. That was passed. Article 14, $2.960 million for roof repairs at McCall and Ambrose School. We heard that some of the roof areas from the McCall were built, dated back to 1932. There are a multitude of different roofs and ages as the building's been added onto over the years. In the Ambrose School, which was built 20 years ago, some repairs are needed to extend the life, which is expected to get another 10 years out of it, bringing it to 30 years, which is the normal lifespan of the roof. And it was jointly, the request was, the $2.9 million was joint between the two projects, so for the ability to flex as needed between those two different projects. That passed. Article 18, $595,000 for additional funds for the repairs and renovations to the Winchester High School gym. We heard that $75,000 was received from two sports organizations. $1.2 million of ARPA funds And we heard that the gym was originally installed in 2005 during the renovation. The floor is worn out. Then mainly they need to replace the floor and to reconfigure the whole gym, turning it about 90 degrees. The new floor will be a maple floor, which has an expected lifespan of about 40 years. But we heard that the current configuration does not meet the MIAA standards. The capacity is below their 500 that they require. The courts are not regulation, and the new reconstruction would provide up to capacity for up to 1,500 spectators. The entire project is projected to cost about $2.6 million, and had to be the low bidder on that retracted the bid, so they are going with the next lowest bidder. That was passed unanimously. Article 15, continuing repairs to the concrete structure, base structure here at the Winchester High School. And this is for the first floor and the crawl space underneath, which are part of the 1970 structure. Rusting rebar is what they call jacking on the main floor, and carbonation on the crawl space under it. $100,000 was already spent on testing, and this $845,000 is to make those repairs. Again, the good news was there was no problem with the second and third floors. And if you may remember, the high school being rebuilt recently, the structure from 1970 was intact. So these concrete areas date back to 1970 over a rather damp area, swamp area. That passed unanimously. Article 16, $200,000 for water system engineering for repairs on the water system on Cambridge Street from the Arlington Town Line about to Everett Avenue. That's engineering to find out how much that's going to cost. That was passed unanimously. Article 17, $1.75 million for East Side sewer and water infiltration issues. That was in the water and sewer system in the east side of town. That was passed unanimously. And finally, Article 9, we went back to Article 9, to adopt what they call specialized energy code for new construction. We heard that 46 other communities have already adopted this. It's a state code. It would be effective on July 1st, 2025, prioritizing fully electric new construction. This only applies to new construction, which our building commissioner said was anything that's new construction or anything that's torn down to the deck. Fully electric is priority. There are some provisions for mixed use, mixed fuels, including the requirement to pre-wire for full electric and solar panels. It would have little effect on the construction costs and does offer the town opportunities for more grants. We heard quite a few town meeting members, including 2 WHS students who spoke on it, but in the end it was passed to adopt this code beginning July 1st, 2025, by a vote of 94 to 41. And with that, town meeting was adjourned. Our moderator expressed the hope that fall town meeting can wrap up in next Monday's session. We're not going to next Thursday. So with that, we will wrap it up for the night, and we will see you next Monday. I'm Alan Iden. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you then.